Hi students, myself Vinod Kumar. I am going to deal the botany for you. Okay. Today we are going to discuss the chapter 2, biological classifications. Biological means living organisms and its classification. There are many types of organisms are there, plants, microorganisms, animals. So to understand them, to know them well, we have to divide them into different groups. So this chapter deals related to this concepts. Okay. So first of all, classification, when it started, when the civilization started, from the day one itself, many people, many scientists, okay, they strived and they struggled to divide these organisms into different groups. Okay. But starting, many scientists, they or people, they started dividing without any based on the scientific rules. Okay. Just generally they divided. How they divided? Based on the three factors. One, food. Second, shelter. Third, clothing. How? Suppose the plants and trees are there. In this, they divided the plants which are useful for food into one group like vegetables, and some other trees which are hard, they have been divided into for shelter. Okay. Some other plants like cotton, which will be used as a clothing. Like this they divided. Even the animals are also divided. The food, some vegetables, some animals are used as for food like cow, sheep, hen, all this is kept in here. Some animals are used for the shelter or some clothing, like animal skin, it is used to be for the clothing. Like this they divided. In this there was no scientific rule was used. Okay. Now we will see the next. The first person, the well known scientist, that is Aristotle. Okay. He tried and he used the scientific rules in the division. Okay. Now Aristotle, what you have to remember is that he used scientific methods. Scientifically, he tried scientifically classified, but still he haven't went into deep. Okay. He divided organisms into the organisms, you have to say organisms, whole group of organisms into two, that is plants, animals. A simple criteria. Again, in the plants, he divided into subgroups based on their morphological characters, like how they look, okay, from outside. Again, these are divided into trees. Next, shrubs and herbs. You will be knowing trees which are huge. Okay. Next, the shrubs which are small and which will grow horizontally near the ground, okay, which will give many fruits, and herbs which are generally vegetables. So, depending on their size, how they look, how they grow, he divided. It is a basic division. Next, animals. In animals, okay. If you see animals, at that time there was no much knowledge was there. Only they used to use animals for domestic purpose or for food purpose. So, when they cut the animals, they used to see the red blood in most of major animals, and few insects, small invertebrates, they never used to see the blood. So, depending on the what they saw the blood in that organisms inside, they divide into two groups, that is red blood animals and simple non red blood animals. So, this was a basic division of or classification of the animals. And again you have to remember that this is in this only the two systems were involved, that is plants and animals, Plantae and Animalia, but this is not a two system classification. Later this period, another scientist Linnaeus, he used another method, and that was called as the two system classification. We will do that. Okay. So, you have to remember that Aristotle is the first person who did the classification of the organisms. Second is, at the time of Linnaeus time, because not only Linnaeus, many other scientists also involved in this classification. And this classification was well known as a two kingdom system classification. So, what are the major things in this two kingdom classification? One, again same plantae, same plant, but plantae, the group of plants. Second is Animalia, animals. Clear? Understood? Now, what is the problem in this? He has taken, absorbed the same like Aristotle. Okay, even he has also gone for the scientific rules, but problem is he left some few important classification of some organisms, like he not included. You have to remember that this is one major part, and another major part is he not included, like what? Like one simple thing. These are the major organisms, but even though these, beyond these, some small organisms are there, the smaller, minute organisms, which are very tiny. Sometimes we can't even see them in general with the naked eye. So, one is he left unicellular. Okay. Second, and he didn't even differentiated between them, the unicellular, multicellular. Okay, he not differentiated. Next, whether that is a prokaryotic or eukaryotic. Second one, that is pro, that is primitive. Pro means primitive, karyo means nucleus, whether it is a primitive nucleus or it is a developed modern nucleus. Prokaryotic, there was no a proper division between them. And eukaryotic, this was another one. And third one, that is the animals, some few animals, okay, and organisms, some plants, they have capacity to produce their own food. Okay, so these are called as photosynthetic organisms, and other are called as, okay, heterotrophs. Okay, the third is or non photosynthetic organisms. So this is photosynthetic, and same way he even classified, divided as a non photosynthetic. Clear? This was a major drawback in this two kingdom system. Many times a question will be asked, why the two kingdom system was not applied or was not approved. Even though the Linnaeus is a great scientist, he helped a lot in many different streams. So, again these are the things you have to remember, this is very important. Clear? Again, photosynthetic. What is photosynthetic? Means these organisms are autotrophic. When these are called autotrophic, means auto, self, tropic, they survive on their own, they will survive. How they will survive? By preparing their own food without depending on other organisms. So, these are called as autotrophics. Okay. Same way, these are called as heterotropics. This is thing you have to remember. This is the first class. This is the first chapter, okay, in the botany, and these are the basic things. Remaining next chapters all will run behind these topics only, whether it is autotrophic, if it is autotrophic, how it is preparing, and what other organisms, why they are unable to prepare the food. So, this is behind, this is a very major concept. So, example for autotrophic, we can go for the algae, here fungi. Why we discussed algae? Algae will grow anywhere in the water, land, okay, and very tiny, and it can survive on its own. Okay, they will prepare the food from the sunlight, and the fungi it cannot. It has to depend on other organisms. Okay, So, this is autotrophic, this fungi, and moreover in the fungi many will be saprophytic. Okay. Saprophytic means what? They will depend on the dead and decaying organic material. You may be seeing animal will die on the road, no one will clear it, but still it will decompose on its own after few days. What is that? That involves the fungi. Not only fungi, even some bacteria also will involve. So, this is called saprophytic. It is very important. Okay. It is a small concept, but very important concept. So, they will depend on the dead and decaying organisms. So, in short you can remember like D and D and few more. Why we are specially focusing on this? Because this is very important, how they are surviving in different means. Okay. Even we people come in this, animals also will come, okay, because we are depending on the plants and other animals. And some other major thing is parasitic. Parasitic means they will depend on other organism for food and shelter. Okay. They do not have any choice, they have to depend. Like most of people will also depend, all peoples, all animals, maximum all human beings, every person will depend on other organisms like plants and animals. So, all are parasitic in some way. Clear? This is the concept of the two kingdom system. Okay. But even though this system was not approved, okay, reason is behind because of not inclusion of these things. That is why we have to remember that the two kingdom system was inadequate. This word you have to remember. It is not fully developed or compromised. Okay. This is about the Linnaeus time. Okay. Clear this point? Okay. Note of the notes. Okay. The next is five kingdom classification. Okay. The five kingdom classification means the organisms were divided into five groups or five divisions. Okay. And you may be already read in the basics in the 9th class. So, that is the five kingdom system or classification. Okay. One is here Monera, very minute, very important, more in the nature. Monera, generally they are unicellular, bacteria will present. Okay. Second is Protista. Third is fungi or fungi. Fourth is Plantae, and fifth is Animalia. We can write as plants or animals. This was like Latin and Greek, that is why the words were different. Okay. Monera, Protista, fungi, Plantae, animals. So, this Linnaeus and some other scientists all involved in this classification, and they have said, okay, this classification will be a major one at the time, and as they said, this is the widely accepted classification. Now, if you see in the Monera, they kept the smallest tiny organisms. Okay. Example, you should always remember, these are the majorly bacteria, many are there, still bacteria maximum. One, that is the cell, okay, the number of cells. These are called as uni. Okay. I am writing only uni. Okay. You can think that is unicellular. They are small. Next is, these are also uni. These are also only one. Small means actually they are unicellular, means only one cell. Here when we discuss, this is only single cell will be there. Okay, no more cells. We are multicellular. We have this many cells. If you see this tissue or the small a pinch of the skin, there will be thousands of cells. This is a group of cells. So, this is a multicellular tissue. But here only one cell will be there. The 10th class you studied amoeba, paramecium, how they will behave, how they will eat food. okay, how they will depend on the food, how they will transfer the food. So, that is the unicellular. Again the protista also unicellular. Okay. Then you might have asked, you may get a doubt why it was divided when the both are unicellular, why it has separated. Why? Because in the case of this cell, single cell, they are same, but further things are different, that is why they have been divided. In starting there are many classifications were like 3 kingdom classification, later 6 kingdom classification were there, but those are not widely accepted. In this case they kept like this, all the unicellular kept in one group, but later they have identified that even though they are one single cell, the single cell is able to perform all duties, it is able to eat food, it is able to digest the food, it is able to, it has a capacity to excrete the food. Only the single cell used to move from one place to other place, understood. So, that is the thing, unicellular. So, these are also unicellular. Now, fungi. In this, especially in many cases you will see multicellular in the textbooks everywhere, that is multicellular, that is correct, but still in this also few are unicellular, only that one is a few are, like in that major is yeast. Yeast is a fungi, but still it will survive with the only single cell, okay, and remaining all are multicellular, okay, and plant also a multicellular, and animals also multicellular. So, we discussed this is some difference was there, that is why they divided. Then why these 3 were divided and all these 3 are multicellular, okay. For some time being we will rub it. So, all 3 are multicellular, why they divided? According to the old concept we understood that plants and animals both are different, plants cannot move, animals can move, plants can prepare their own food, animals cannot prepare their own food, that is why they divided. And this fungi also multicellular, it cannot prepare their own food. So, this was kept starting in the animals only, clear, but later he divided, he separated. Starting he also kept there only, but after some months, after research and some discussions, they separated. Why? Because animals are big, locomotive, okay, and strictly they are depending on some other organisms, okay, and these fungi very small and they are depending in different way, like they are depending on dead organisms, okay, even they are consuming the decay. So, the unicellular, multicellular, clear. So, what you have to think is, first thing you have to rub this cellular, okay, it will be easy for us, okay. Now, if you see, you have to make a line like this, these are 2 in common, okay, and these 3 are in common, okay, in this case. But still later we have found that yeast is a single cell, okay. So, here in exceptionally uni, okay, so this you have to add. So, unicellular are generally 2 plus 1, okay, or 2.1 like this. So, this fungi will be major maximum except yeast, what we study is yeast only. So, you have to remember this yeast, except yeast all are. So, this is a thing that you can remember easily because it is starting plus 1. So, a large time is there. Next is about the nuclear membrane, the next will come the nuclear membrane. The nuclear membrane, these are called as prokaryotes and these are eukaryotes, okay, and these also karyotes, these also, and these are also eukaryotes. What does mean eukaryotes? Eukaryotes means in these organisms there will be a nucleus and the nucleus membrane will be there. What about this? In this there will be no nucleus, in this also nucleus will be there, but the membrane will not be there. So, see, pro means primitive, karyo means prokaryotes, karyo means nucleus, eu means modern or well defined, karyo means nucleus. In this case the nucleus will be in a chamber, okay, it will be in the chamber. Example I will draw here. This is suppose prokaryote, this is a eukaryote. In the prokaryote the nucleus will be free like this, the nucleus will be free, it will move everywhere, it is not defined. But in the eukaryotes If it is 1, the nucleus will be defined in a chamber like this, it will be there, and remaining organelles will be there. So, nucleus will have its own chamber, it will be confined in its own place, the DNA will be present in the nucleus. So, DNA will have its own chamber, a round spherical or any direction, okay, but it will confined in a one round ball, that is called nucleus, and around that is called nucleus membrane. This is the major. Suppose the multicellular, many cells will be there, all cells will be having their own nucleus membrane and the nucleus like this. This is the difference, clear. Same properties, they both will do, they perform the same properties, but here the nucleus membrane is not there. That is why this is called nucleoid, this is called nucleus. So, this is the difference. So, in this case, these are alone and these are modified. They can perform very less functions. Because of well defined DNA in a particular chamber, they can do more functions. That is why they are separated from the single cell organisms. Even though they are single, they are defined, they are differentiated. A question may be asked in future, why this protists and Monera are divided even though they are unicellular? Then you have to say that of course they are unicellular, but their nucleus and its function is different. Okay, it is old, the free nucleus, the nucleus will move all around the chamber of the cell. Here the nucleus will be in a particular place. This thing you have to remember and explain. And in this case, this eukaryotes will be, all will be same. These two lines you have to remember, clear, for few days, then it will be automatic, you will be well versed with this content. So, these are the basic thing. Third one is the cell wall. What is cell wall? Here cell wall is a tough layer, all will have this cell wall in different composition, okay. Like the plants will be having cellulose, it will be having chitin, okay. This will be having a cell wall layer, even this will also have cell wall will be there, it is made up of lipids like this, cell wall will present, okay. Okay, there will be, it will present and it presents. Sorry, this is absent. Why? Because animals will move in any different directions, it is flexible, okay. That is why this animal cells will not have a cell wall. See, our skin will move differently, okay, in any way, okay, it can be moved. That is why the animals will not have cell wall, there will be no tough layer. We have cell membrane, but these will have, okay, a cell membrane and a cell wall. Plants will also have the tough layer, protective layer, cell wall. After that, cell membrane will be there. We will have cell membrane, that is called as a plasma membrane. This is next. Next is, last is, many are there like this, many are there, but the major is the food. How they are depends, that is called mode of nutrition. Nutrition means Monera, Protista, fungi, plant, animalia. First will come this plants, they are autotrophic, fully autotrophic, they will depend on their own, they will depend on their chlorophylls, they prepare their own food, that is why autotrophic we will say. And animals, they cannot depend, they have to depend on other, that is why they are called as heterotrophic. Okay. Again in the heterotrophic there are two types, holozoic, that generally they will eat the food, and saprophytic like fungus, okay. Some other animals like crow, they will depend on the dead and decay organisms. So, that is the sub points, okay. Holozoic, that is sub, okay. Next is fungi. Fungi is a, after this two, this one. Why we came reverse? Why? Because the plants has a, this is qualities which belongs to plants. So, based on this plant quality only they divided these two. Next fungi, even though they have divided because of this character only, okay. Animals, remaining all characters are similar, they are very similar to the animals, but still they divided because of these heterotrophs, okay. They are also hetero, moreover they are sapro, most of, means they are, as we discussed earlier, they depend on the dead and decay materials, and majorly they are parasitic, okay, clear. Next is Protista. This is very different, this is unicellular, that is why anyway they have divided. Now, what is Protista? Protista is a autotrophic plus also heterotrophic. Best example is euglena. You have to remember this word, euglena. Euglena will be like this, and it can has a capacity of autotrophs and heterotrophs, a single organism. And why we have to remember this capacity it got, even the unicellular, these will not having. Okay, this got why? Because of the nucleus, a well defined nucleus. The well defined nucleus can do many works. So euglena, in it has a sunlight is there, then it can prepare its own food. If there is no sunlight and it is hungry, it depends on nearby small organisms. In this way, euglena is a hybrid. You can think as it's a hybrid. It belongs to plants, it belongs to animals. Clear? Like this. Even example is amoeba and protista. In the 10th class you have studied, but in the 10th class you haven't understood. You may be knowing bacteria. Generally, the bacteria are the unicellular. Of course, they are unicellular. Amoeba also unicellular, protist, and this paramecium also unicellular. But amoeba is not a bacteria. Paramecium is not a bacteria. If you saw the pictures in the 10th class book, if you remember, recollect, a black round molecule will be there in the amoeba in middle. You see like this. It's irregular shape. It will have pseudopodia, and they will be having a nucleus. You might observe that is nucleus. It's a well defined. So that is amoeba. Amoeba will come under this. Clear? Paramecium. If you see the paramecium like this, generally paramecium will be a slipper shape with having many cilia. Still you may see many molecules, okay, all organelles, but still you will see a nucleus. This is a paramecium. So you have to remember three things in this. In the three things, majorly they are auto and hetero. After this, we have to remember amoeba. This is very important. If you forget, if you confuse amoeba as unicellular, single cell, it will depend on its own. So that should be a monera. No, they are a modified unicellular. And paramecium and euglena. You should remember these three are very important. Okay, and very less we cover euglena in the topics. That's why there is a chance to forget. Remember this. At last come this monera. In this monera also, majorly they depend. Few will be an autotrophic, and few will be heterotrophic. Not only this, all will be there in this bacteria, and they will be saprophytic and parasitic also. How saprophytic? Many bacteria will also decompose and they depend on the dead materials and decay materials. And how parasitic? We will get many diseases, right? We all will get many diseases. Plants will get these diseases because of this. So you have to remember this chart. In this chart, this is very important. Unicellular, exceptionally unicellular, only yeast. Yeast is very small. Remaining this. Once you look into this, clear? It is very important. Okay. And the same topic was given in the textbook on the right side on the table 2.1 like this. Okay. Same content. Clear? Take notes. So till now in the chart, in the tables we saw the divisions. Okay. How they divided? Sometimes my question will be asked in the PU and NEET. So how they are divided? So few things are there. Okay. One, before that you have to remember the 10th class, the diagrams are there, amoeba, paramecium. Once we will let's see, amoeba will be like irregular, okay, and paramecium will be depending on this we will discuss. One, first is depending on morphology. Morphology, outer layer, you see both are unicellular. Of course, we leave that topic, that is they are protist, but if you see observe these two, the morphologically they are not similar, they are separate, they are different. So that is morphology, external looks, how it outline. One is morphology. Second is the cell structure. If you see the cell structure, second is cell structure. Like cell structure, this is irregular, this is a defined. Regularly they will be present like that only, small changes will be there, but here they will be irregular. So the cell structure, how it is If you see, not only these two, they have taken all 5 like plants. The plant cell wall will be like this, you know, always it will be like rectangular or the diamond shape or maybe a 4 shapes or 5 shapes, 6 shapes. Shapes will be there. Okay. If you see this amoeba and paramecium, okay, already we discussed this morphology, they are different, and by cell structure they are different. If you see, this is a irregular, it can move in any direction. The cell structure is very soft and it's flexible. And in this case, see the cell structure, it's a rigid, tough in a defined manner. So this thing you have to keep in mind. Again, we are discussing the plant cell. The plant cell will be having the planes, and animal cell will be generally round, okay, flexible. So this is also was considered while dividing. Not only that, even the what are the materials used in this cell wall preparation also considered. Okay. Next, cell structure. Third is, okay, like nutrition. Nutrition, how they are depending. This amoeba will go towards the food, and then it will capture the food, it will grasp the food, absorb the foods. So this nutrition is here different. Here the paramecium, what it will do, it will take the food from one direction to other direction. By the help of cilia, it will move the food like this, like this. So this is another method. And you know, plants, they don't have any problem, they will prepare their own food. Animals, they will locomote, like the tiger will run behind the deer for the food. So this is a major thing that was observed while classifying. Next is nutrition, this is okay. And fourth is habitat, the place they will survive. The amoeba will be survived in the water, fresh water or marine water, anywhere. And the paramecium will survive in the hard substances also, in the liquid also. Plants will survive in the on the land, even the water. The method of habitat is different. Okay. The plants will not survive, most of the plants will not, trees will not survive in the desert. It's its own habitat. And animals, they can survive in any place, okay, except much in the water. Animals will survive on the like land animals, and water animals will be there. So depending on the habitat where they survive, like birds, maximum all the day they will be flying, okay, they will be roaming from one place to other place. Fishes, they will survive in the water only, maximum 24 hours, all the day will be water, okay. If we take out the fish, they will die. So this is a habitat, that is called habitat, is also taken care while classifying, okay. Fifth is reproduction, how they will reproduce. Like amoeba, it will divide and give rise to 2, okay, like this fission. Like normal, it will cut in the transverse or irregularly. Paramecium also will cut transversely, okay. This reproduction is like sexual reproduction, even those animals also sexual reproduction, okay. And this bacteria, they will divide 2 parts like fission. So this reproduction is different, depending on the reproduction also they are divided, you have to remember. Next is the major is evolutionary relationship. Means any involvement is there in the evolution time, like from the starting of their birth, okay, in olden age until now, like embryonic relation or evolutionally they are whether they are related or not, that also considered, okay. Like in animals, the 2 evolution like humans and monkeys, apes, all evolutionary they are similar, their body types are there. So all these are kept in a side, okay. This is in-depth classification in a particular division, okay. The plants and algae was divided, okay, even the plants and algae, okay, again they are divided, okay. So these are the things, okay, like this they are divided, you have to remember, okay. Okay. Now next is first kingdom, okay. First kingdom, you can write like this, major one. In the first point is majority are occupied by bacteria. Some small variations are there, but still major are bacteria, and these bacteria or Monera can be seen everywhere, on the land, on the water, uh, in the air, even the damp soil areas, or even in the everywhere you can see. Okay, wherever, if you keep a nutrient, if you take a Petri plate, in this you have to pour sugar medium, and you have to keep in any place, on the air, in any forest, on the desert, everywhere if you keep for 10 minutes, then you close it, and then you can keep in the laboratory, they will grow bacteria, in that the bacteria will grow. So, everywhere you can find, even from the blood we can extract the bacteria. Okay. So, this is everywhere they will present. Second point is everywhere. There is one word is there, omni. We can use the word omni. Especially this word is used for viruses, omnivores, everywhere they will present. And third is especially where they will present. Okay. Generally, we can see them in desert, in the sea, ocean. Okay, the deep oceans, inside deep, under hundreds of miles, okay, below. Next, in the ice, even in Antarctica, still when they are digging the ice, still they are finding many bacteria, and they are more dangerous because we never exposed to those bacteria, they are very harmful for us. So, like this. And hot springs, it means in some places the hot water will come out from the ground nearby volcanoes, like this, very high temperature will be there, 100, 500, 900. So, in that temperature also this bacteria can be seen, understood. So, this is the where we can see this bacteria. Now, next point, this is a general information. Now, we will see another one, that is how the bacteria was divided based on, okay, how the structure. Okay. Later we will see the based on. Okay. So, this we have seen, these are called extreme habitats, desert, sea, ice, hot springs. In this place they will survive. One enzyme was extracted from a bacteria, that is called Thermus aquaticus, which were surviving, which are existing in the from hot springs, which are very high temperature. Okay. Now, we will see for another, the bacteria is divided based on the shape, okay. So, now based on shape, very simple basic concept. Based on shape, how the bacteria is divided? One, the spherical, that is coccus, okay, cocci, they will be round, okay, round, little bit nearby, spherical. Okay. Second is, okay, the rod shape, okay, rod shape. The rod is called as bacillus. That is like this. They are in round in shape. Third is comma shape. That is vibrio or vibriae. They will be just like comma shape. Okay. Most of the part will be one side, a small part will be other side. Okay, that will be used as a locomotion or some movement. And fourth is, okay, spring shape. Okay, that is spirillum, like this. It will be used for generally locomotion. Clear? Have a look this spherical, rod shape, comma shape, spring shape. Okay, these are the 4 types. Clear? Take a notes. Based on nutrition. Okay, based on nutrition, how they will survive. Okay, generally the some bacteria will be autotrophic. Okay, and some bacteria will be heterotrophic. It means they will depend on others. Again, in the autotrophic, some bacteria has the capacity to survive on their own with the help of photosynthetic. Okay, therefore called as photosynthetic. Okay, and few will be called as chemosynthetic. So observe this: bacteria autotrophic, they can prepare their own food. Again, in their own, when they prepare their own food, few will depend on the sunlight with the help of chlorophyll. Okay, they prepare just from only sunlight. Few bacteria can survive on some chemicals, that is inorganic materials like nitrogen fixers, okay, phosphorus fixers. Next is heterotrophic. These are general bacteria, just like us animals, they depend on others. In this bacteria, saprophytes will come, okay, and remaining parasitic will come. All the disease causing organisms will come under the heterotrophic. Clear? Note down.